Hello everyone, welcome. My name is MJ Pestridge and welcome to this video, right? So the Nvidia cards have just launched, right? The 30 series Nvidia cards. There's been three of them. I look like I'm balding a little bit. There's been three of them basically. Now, I'm not going to talk about the 3070, okay? Forget that. That's like that's like the relation you keep in the cellar, okay? Don't even worry about that. Now, all three cards that have been, you're right, Valentine, all three cards that have been announced, the 3070, the 3080, and the 3090, all perform like, at the very minimum, twice as more powerful than the 2080 Ti, which is their latest flagship series of cards, you know? So this isn't just like what the 30, what the, this isn't just what the 2080 series was, which was just a little boost in performance from the 1080 series or the 10 series. This is a proper boost in performance. This is not only a big boost in performance, right? But also in a redesign of the card itself. So the card itself, right, is basically got two fans on it now. But one, instead of like they're both going in through the same, one's actually going in through the bottom and the other one's coming out through the top, and one's pushing cold air in, and then that cold air leaks out the sides, or when it's heated obviously by the GPU, it's leaked out the sides, and the other air comes in from the other side. So it's basically it can create a 20% increase of coolant into your GPU, right, which means a more stable performance, and it's not going to melt on you basically, which is good because this is like, the performance on this can beat anything recently. So the prices and the dates have been announced, but the one thing that for me I was a little bit lackluster is they didn't talk about the TI cards, which I'm sure will come out next year. Now that's the cards that I'm waiting for. So don't buy these cards if you're into flight simulation. Okay, if you do flight simulation, do not buy these cards, okay? As much as, like, this 3090 basically replaces the Titan. It's got 24 gig of memory. It's honestly, it's like their best card, and it's massive. Honestly, it was like the size of this Xbox. It was crazy big. It was massive. Yeah, don't buy these cards if you're into flight simulation. The reason I say this is because flight simulation needs a lot of VRAM, okay? And like the 3080 only carries 10 gig, right? Only carries 10 gig. Now, my 1080 Ti carries 11 gig, okay, which is super helpful in version 5 of P3D. Not so much in the Microsoft Sim, but it is super helpful to have that much VRAM attached to your card. The 3090 has 24 gig of VRAM. So, but the TI cards always beats the first wave of their series. So the 30 series that are just coming out now, unless this 3090, which I don't think it is turns out to be the sort of the TI version. I think this is more the Titan equivalent, really, but not in performance. When the TIs come out next year, they're honestly going to beat the specs off this. And they're the cards that you want to get for flight simulation. Like, for me, my recommendation is never buy a non-TI card. If like, say, for instance, the 1060, don't get the 1060, get the 1060 Ti. The 1080, don't get the 1080, get the 1080 Ti for flight simulation. Now, gaming is completely different. Gaming and flight simulation, they both use the PC, they both use the hardware super hard, but they both use it in different ways and requires like you to almost have a different brain on your head when doing either flight simulation versus gaming. Gaming it takes sort of resources and manages them differently, but flight simulation is very intensive on your hardware. And trust me, the TI cards, graphic cards, is exactly what you would want to get. So, like, I've seen a lot of people, because this new Microsoft Sim, basically have come out and go, I need to get a new PC for the Microsoft Sim. And they've ran to the shops. They've gotten like the 2080 Ti. They've gotten all this new hardware. And now it's like all this new generation of cards. And to be honest, this is a big leap. okay, the amount of processing power that is going into these, okay, is a lot. Like, you know, they all support ray tracing out the box, and 8K at 60 FPS, right? 60 frames per second, supported up to 8K resolution. So this is basically future proof for the next 5 years, okay? So the 2080 series or the 20 series really wasn't that far ahead of the 10 series, as opposed to what the 30 series is doing. So, but don't like, oh gosh, the 3080 or the 3090, I've got to get that. Don't wait. If you're into flight simulation, hold off and wait until the TI versions come out, because they're going to be like, for flight simulation, they're a lot better to have. You know, it's like you'll still have a good performance with these cards if you go out and get them, but you'll just, you know, miss out on like the next hurdle, right? Like the 3080 card comes out in 2 weeks' time, guys, right? And it's going to be £525, like $700. Okay, that's mega cheap. That is. I think they've priced these because of what's been happening in the world as well. Because the 3090, which is a Titan equivalent, and that was like £2,000 when it dropped, you know, this is like £1,200. This is like $1,500. Oh my gosh, that's like mega cheap. That is for graphics cards, of a new series, of like the next step in sort of PC evolution, as it were. I mean, you know, if you end up getting like the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox, and then you get a 30 series, man, you got the best of both worlds there for your gaming needs, honestly. But yeah, I just don't be caught up in the hype and go running out to buy these cards, because like within 6 months after these cards release, there's going to be the next better version, the TI, or perhaps within the next 12 months, the TI versions will drop, and then it'll be like, that's the one I want. Unless the 3090 is the TI version of the 3080, but I don't think it is. I definitely don't think that. But the 3080 is their flagship card, evidently. So I'm waiting personally for the 3080 Ti. That's when I'll upgrade, because these are massive cards. Like, the guy had one in an oven, right? He was hiding them on the stream, literally in his kitchen. He had one behind the spatulas, he had one in the oven, and he held them like that. They were massive. They were like that. And honestly, you're going to have to remove and reorganize your PC. You know, I don't even know if they'll attach themselves to the motherboards. Like, you might have to have the latest motherboard in order to put these things in. But it's like, they definitely aren't going to fit in your current build. You're definitely going to have to make a new build for a PC. But if you're going to do that, you might as well wait for the TIs if you're into flight simulation. That's all I'm saying. Is like, don't rush out and buy these because they're new and it's the latest little pony to trottle out onto the street. Wait until those TI babies drop. Then you get them if you're into flight simulation, and you will not regret it. You definitely won't regret it. But guys, yeah, they're out now. They've dropped. The 3070, like I said, they did talk about that, but like, that's, yeah, hide that one in the cellar, to be honest. That's not even worth their time, I think, you know. But the 3080, the 3090, the 3090, if you've got the room and if you've got the money, to like, that's the one to get, I suppose, out of the two. What do you guys reckon? But for me, yeah, I'm gonna wait myself, you know, because I think the TI version of the 3080 carries like 24 gig of VRAM on it as well. And that's just going to be a beast in the future, you know. Like, for me, the 1080 Ti is the one I have currently, right? Now, it says 4K support, right? 4K support. It doesn't really, like, it does record at 4K. I can record, but to flight sim and record at 4K, it struggles with that. It's like, to be honest, I need two of them, I think. You know, one for the flight sim and one for the stream, or one for the recording, you know. Because the 1080 Ti doesn't really handle well 4K, both, you know, producing a flight sim and then recording that flight sim as well. It's a bit ropey, and the settings have to be down low, and it's like, it's not worth it. So I might as well just do it at 1080, you know, like the card says. But the 2080, I feel, is that step where you can perhaps 4K it, you know. But now it's like, dudes, this is like double the power. This is like 8K support for the 3080 and the 3090. 8K, man. So 4K recording as standard in the next few months. Do you know what I mean? But okay, so the biggest news though, the cards, to be honest, weren't even the big news for me. The biggest news they dropped was something that every Nvidia card owner who has an RTX card will be able to use free, right? This is the big news, guys, seriously, right? And it comes at the end of the year, right? They didn't announce the month. I think they might have said the end of the year. But basically what's going to happen is you're going to get to download a program, okay, within GeForce, and it's basically OBS. Like, it's not OBS, but it's the features of OBS integrated into your graphics card. So you're going to be able to live stream. You're going to be able to use a green screen environment without having a green screen. It's got AI built in with it, so it tracks you. So it's like a camera moving within the resolution of the screen. So if you happen to do this, the graphics card like tracks you, and so it looks like the camera's turning, but it ain't. Obviously, it's not touching your camera. It's just tracking you within the resolution, and you're able to use complete green screen background replacement, blur background without a green screen. Like, this is going to be what people are going to be doing on stream now. Like, when this drops, it's a free download for RTX users, right? I'll get it for my card because, like, I've always wanted to do the green screen thing, but just never got around to it really. But this is, I think people are going to utilize this. As long as it doesn't kill the performance of the card, which I think it will, right? Then this is what you're going to see as standard in streams. You're going to see people taking advantage of this built-in, software to your graphics card. That's like, basically handles your stream now. Man, there's 28 million streamers, guys, out there. 28 million streamers. I didn't realize that. That's a lot of people. And the most played game out of all of these streams is Fortnite. Dudes, come on. Fortnite, man. But that's going to get ray tracing in the future. Man, Fortnite's going to look the best it's ever looked. I'm telling you. There'll be new dances, and all that they're doing. But, yeah, guys, when these cards drop, don't run out and buy them if you're into flight simulation. Wait until the TI cards come. That's the ones you want to get. Anyway, that's the specs, guys. $700, $1,500, drops in 2 weeks' time. There was no date for the 3090. You can only assume that it's probably going to be like October maybe, or even still September, maybe the end of September, maybe the 24th of September, who knows. But yeah, Nvidia 30 series, guys, coming in 2 weeks' time. Anyway, I'm going to go now. That's basically it. Pre-order the Bravo instead. Man, it's, I tell you, that in terms of hardware, man, this is it now. It's just getting better and better, I feel, And it's like, there's always something around the corner. People will always tell you, don't go out and buy this latest card, man. There's something right around the corner. Yeah, that's always going to happen in hardware within your PC. But to be honest, this is a leap forward. I didn't get the 2080 Ti because I knew this was coming. And I knew that this was going to be much better and a bigger leap into performance than the 2080 Ti was. 2080 Ti ain't that light greater than the 1080, I feel. It's just a little bit better. But this is like a bigger step, It demoed this marbles thing, like real time, flight simmers are always waiting for something, waiting to land sometimes. Like, it showed you real-time volumetric lighting, and it looked honestly amazing. And then it put up a version of it without of what basically you've got now. And it's like the difference between FSX and the Microsoft Sim. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, that's a big difference, that is. So I'm quite excited for the graphics of what's coming, in the next year. I think even flight simulation, which I kind of feel sorry for X-Plane now, because they've gone into the, I don't know how Nvidia cards handle like Vulkan and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, the Nvidia handles DirectX very well, but how does it handle Vulkan at all? I don't know. And they've put their eggs in that basket, So I don't know what it's going to be like for X-Plane, you know. And I wish Star Citizen also went down the DirectX 12 route, but they're doing Vulkan as well. So it's like, I don't know what the future for Nvidia card users will be. They're like, what's their experience going to be like? Is it going to be okay? Is it going to be fine? Or is it just going to be a little bit, I don't know. But like DirectX 12 P3D version 5 uses, and I think it's, yeah, much better than DirectX 11. And I don't know why the new Microsoft Flight Sim isn't DirectX 12. That's still DirectX 11, which is a little bit weird because it's just come out. You know, who knows? I think they're going to upgrade it. I don't know, though, if they will. But anyway, guys, I'm signing off. I'm going. Wait for the TIs, and I'll see you in the skies, guys. Take care. Over and out. You're so impressed with the Microsoft Sim. You haven't used P3D since. Shame on you, Brian. Shame on you. You're not a commercial airliner pilot, eh? I am. I like to fly the heavies, you know? And I prefer P3D for that. P3D is so much better for commercial aviation. You know, I just go into Microsoft for the memes. It's like a game. I go and have a little play around, you know, have a little flight. It does look great for general aviation. I love it. But exactly, wait for PMDG. That's when it'll change. That's when I'll be more on board with Microsoft, you know, when the big heavies are in. And I'll then get the NGXU, you know, from PMDG. But I'm not going to buy it for P3D version 5. Don't need it, man. The classic NGX works fine for me. Anyway, signing off. Take care, bye. Bye-bye, guys. Oh.